Too long.
Yeah.
Where's the youth? This gone. My
Youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah, it's I heard that.
Okay. Chumash and Rashi, the Torah portion, a new Torah portion. Hazinu, the song of songs. Second last Torah portion. Let's get right into it.
Did we get the poem today?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay, we are in Devarim, chapter 32, Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse number 1. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu shehakol nidbareh.
Amen.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, Hazinu, that's the name of the parsha. It means to give ear. Oizen means ear, but he means, in the context here, give your ear, meaning listen. Hashamayim, O heavens, right? Proof that this is a proof that God, that Moshe Rabbeinu was Irish. O heavens, right?
Well, you know how it's spelled.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Good try.
All right.
Well, my track to do it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Va'adabera, and I will speak. Visishma, and you should listen. That it should hear.
It should.
Haaretz, that it should hear, right? That the earth should hear. Haaretz. Imrei fi, the words of my mouth. Rashi. Okay, this is going to be poetic. These are going to be words that we probably haven't heard. Many of the words, they're more difficult. Azino Hashamayim, what does it mean give ear to the heavens? Animas Shebahem B'Yisrael. I'm giving warning to the Jewish people, to Israel. To see you Eidim Badavar, and be witnesses to the matter. Who are the witnesses? Heaven and earth are the witnesses. Okay? This is a song which consists of admonishing the Jewish people, right? So he's calling attention to heaven and earth to that they should be a witness to the warning. That's the idea. Shekach amarti lahem. But this is what I told to the Jewish people, to Israelites. She'atem tiyu eidim, that they shall be a witness. Yeah, that you should be a witness. And similarly, this is the meaning of Sishma Haaretz, that may the earth hear. Right? Even though it's in a form of future, Visishma, that it will hear, as opposed to in the Hazinu, which is an imperative, right?
Yeah.
But Visishma is also an imperative. So, right then, in other words, this is that they're to hear because they are to bear witness. So now Rashi asks, why did Moshe call for heaven and earth to be witnesses against the Jewish people? So Moshe said, Ani basar v'dam, I'm a man of flesh and blood. Lemachar ani meis. Tomorrow I will die. I will be dead. And if the Jewish people will say, like kibalnu aleinu habris, we did not accept the covenant upon ourselves. Mi bo, who will come, or machisham, and will contradict them. Right? Let's say the Jewish people will come together, and that's it. We're finished. You know. Right? Deny exactly the covenant. Lefikach. That's why by him he called us witness against them. Shemai Baris, heaven and earth. Eidim shehem kayamim le'elam. They're witnesses who last forever, right? They're eternal witnesses. In other words, the punishment that will befall them will come from heaven and earth, and that will be the testimony. Furthermore, that's one explanation. Sheim yisku, that if the Jewish people are notorious, Yavo Eidim, the witnesses will come, v'yitnu scharam, that will give the reward to the Jewish people. Shenemar says, Gefen titin piria, that the vine will yield its fruit, va'aretz yitin its yevula, and the earth will yield its produce. V'shamayim yitnu talam, and the heavens will give their due. Due meaning DEW, right? Yeah. So earth will give because you'll have produce, and heaven will give. But if the Jewish people are found guilty, the hand of the witnesses will be first against you, as the law is, right? When it comes to stoning, right? The witnesses are the ones who have to do right. They have that. They're the first ones who have to bring the punishment. So here too, heaven and earth will bring the punishment. And God will
Wow.
and the witnesses. Sorry, and He will restrain the heavens, so there will be no rain. And the ground will not give its produce. And after that you will swiftly be banished by the nations. This is what will happen.
We govern that, right? Everything.
Huh?
We govern that expression.
Well, we in the second paragraph of the Shema. In the second paragraph of the Shema.
The two. Wow.
Yeah. Second paragraph of the Shema, those are the words.
Witnesses, and this is what they give. That's incredible.
Right, that's the reward. And the reward, if you're not listening, so then that will be taken away.
Just witnesses, they're also even executors.
The executors, right. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. As the halacha is, right? That they are, right? That the witnesses are the executors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yadam tiyeh barishona.
Yeah. Okay, verse number 2. So, okay, Ya'arif is to dip. It should dip, kamatar, like rain. Likhi. Likhi means my taking, but here it means my teachings. That's God's takings, right? That's His teachings. And so, and others, may my teachings drip like rain.
Leka.
Yeah, like exactly. Tizal, and it should flow. Tizal is to flow. Kital, as dew, again DEW. Imrasi, my words. Kisiirim, like a storm. Ale desha, that is upon the desha, the vegetation. Ukirevivim,
Grass.
vegetation, yeah, grass is vegetation is the general term. Kirevivim, like revivim, like raindrops. Ale asif, upon the grass. Okay, let's see Rashi. Yarav kemata lichi, again, it should drip like rain, my teachings. Zuhia idu shitaidu. This is a testimony that you should witness. She'ani oimer bifnechem, that I'm saying it before you in your presence. Torah shenatzati l'Israel, the Torah that I gave to Israel. She'yeh chaim le'olam, that is the life for the world. Kamatar hazeh, like rain, just like this rain. Shu chaim le'olam, that gives life to the world, right? Without rain, you don't have life. Likewise, Torah is life. Kasher yaruf hashamayim tal umatar, when heaven drips dew and rain, right? It's giving, so that's the metaphor. It's giving physical life, and that's the spiritual life, and not just spiritual life, but actual physical life is Torah. Ya'arif, drip, may it drip. Lashon yatif, it denotes dripping. Ya'arif usually means the back of the neck, right? It's a term, the back of the neck. But over here it means to drip. Sha'akol smeichim, that everybody is happy. Lefisha amater, for the rain. Yesh by atzavim lebriyos. In other words, do everybody's happy with. Rain, not everybody's happy with. Some people are annoyed by rain, right? Wake up in the morning, oh, there's rain in the forecast. What do you usually do? You don't smile. Usually you're not happy when there's rain in the forecast, right? Unless you're a farmer, maybe, and you need it. But most people, there's an annoyance. So you're saying, do everybody's happy with. Rain, not everybody's happy with it. Annoys. Kigoin, holchi drachim, like those who have to travel on the roads. Misha ayabayre, the one who has an uncovered vat, malayai, filled with wine, right? He has a vat that's full of wine and it's uncovered, and now it's raining into the wine, and he ain't happy about that. He's just bringing out the point that who's everybody happy with is with the idea of do. Se'irim, Lashon Sa'ara, it's a term that means a storm, or a windstorm. Kitarguma, as Onkelos translates it, Kerucha Mitra, like wings of rain. Just as these winds strengthen the grass, they make them grow. So too, this is a metaphor, right? For the words of Torah, they strengthen the one who learns it and makes them grow, right? Torah makes you grow. Okay. Next Rashi, Kirivivim, reviv. Tape matar, raindrops, kenir ali, and it appears to me, Hashem kechet, that because it shoots like an arrow, nikra raviv, it's called raviv, shoot like an arrow. So these raindrops also shoot like an arrow. Kemada omar, as you say, roive koshes, a shooter, an archer. Deshe, in Old French, ibadiz. Atifas ha'aretz, the wrapping of the earth, machusa b'yerek, that it's covered with greenery, right? Vegetation.
Actually, the rain in Israel, it's called Yoreh, the first one, and the last one is Malkush. So it's Yoreh, it's like, that's what
Right.
it's saying here, it's like a bow, an arrow.
Right. Esav, grass. Kelach echad kari esav, a single stalk. It's called esav, grass. Chol min b'min la'atzmoi. And in addition, each species unto itself, kari esav, is also called grass, a grass, an herb, right? Meaning, instead of in plural form, it's singular form. It's singular form. And in singular form, this is what it means. Okay? Okay. Verse number 3. Okay, we're good so far?
Yes.
Okay. Kishem Hashem Ekra. For when I call, for the name of God, I call. Havu Gadol Velekenu. Ascribe, Havu means to bring, meaning to ascribe. Goidel, greatness, Velekenu, to our God. Rashi number 3. Okay. Kishem Hashem Ekra. When I call out in the name of Hashem. Hare ki meshamish b'lashon kasher. The word ki over here has 4 different meanings. Here it means when, not if. Right? It could mean if, but it means here when. Right? Or not, or it can mean because, but it means here when. Why? Because this is, in other words, it's not giving a reason for my teachings are dropped like rain, right? Which, in other words, which preceded this verse, the previous verse. It's not giving a reason for it. Like it says, when you enter into the land, that when I call out and mention Shem Hashem, the name of Hashem, Atim, When you call out in the name of God, that's ascribing greatness to our God. And bless his name. Mikan Amru. You follow what the verse is saying? When you call out in the name of God, that's ascribing greatness to God. That's what the verse is saying. That's how Rashi is explaining it. Okay?
It's almost like when we say Yehesh Rabbah.
Yeah. Mikan Amru, from here, the sages learn out that we respond, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusai, that we blessed is the name of the glory of the kingdom, Acher Bracha Sheba Mikdash, after the blessing of the base in the base of Mikdash. There's a blessing of being in the base of Mikdash in the holy temple. So that blessing, I guess, in coming into the base of Mikdash.
Yom Kippur?
No, I don't think so. I think anytime maybe you come into the base of Mikdash, there's a blessing. So people respond to that. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusai Li'olam Vayed. Blessed is the name of the glory of his kingdom. Now that you're bringing glorification, greatness to God. Okay. Next, verse number 4. Hatzur, which means the rock, referring to God, right? Tamim. Pa'alai. Tamim means perfect, pure. Pa'alai are his works. God's works, the rock, right, are perfect. Ki kol drachav mishpat. Why? For all of his ways are justice. Mishpat is justice. Drachav, his ways. Kel emuna, a God, emuna, faithful, vein oval, and he has no iniquity, right? God has no iniquity. Tzaddik, he's righteous. V'yasharhu, and it is proper. Let's see Rashi. Okay. Hatzur tamim pa'aloi, the rock, right? Perfect is his work. Afal pishu chazak, even though the God, he is strong, right? That's the metaphor of a rock, right? Instead of using God's name, so it's bringing out strength. Kishamevi Parani is when he brings about punishment. Al of those who transgress his will. Loi b'shetef humevi. He doesn't bring it in a shetef, in a torrent, in a flood. Yeah. Ki im badin, but rather with justice. Ki tamim pa'aloi, because he's perfect in his work. So, in other words, he does it in a way of justice. That's how God does it.
Relative to the sin?
Yeah, for sure, relative to the sin.
One particularly, he measures out his. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Kel Emuna, he's a God that's faithful. L'shalom l'tzadikim tzidkosam. What is it? What's he faithful? To pay to the righteous for their righteousness. Leilam haba, in the world to come. Afal pi shema'ach is taglumam. In other words, he's only paying later, right? Even though he postpones his payment. So if Amin is Devora, in the end, he makes good his, in the end, he is good, he is true to his word. Wow. In other words, why is God being faithful? Why is he saying being faithful? What does it mean? It means faithful is when we have, for example, when we have faith, means what? Why do you have to have faith? Because you don't have it in the present. So you need the faith that you'll have it in the future, right? It's the same thing here. The righteous, they do what's righteous. And, not necessarily does that mean they're going to see it in their lifetime. So God is faithful, meaning they're going to get there, right, in the world to come.
And why is it better to receive it in the world to come? Is it?
As opposed to receiving it now? Because whatever you're going to receive now will be minimal compared to what you get in the world to come.
For the same, let's say for the same deed, it will be bigger in the world to come than.
World to come means two things: Gan Eden and times of Mashiach. means two things, right?
So it could be referring to both.
I think it means both. I'm not 100% certain, but my understanding would be that it would refer to both, because both are true. Both are true. In other words, when you do the mitzvah of tzedakah today, or you put on, you pray to Hashem, are you getting your reward today? The reward, when we say reward, the principle, the fruits you get, but not the principle you don't get, right? The principle, right? The tree, the fruits can be health, wealth, long life, and so on. Material things, but that's only the fruit. That's not the principle. The principle is the connection. So you don't get that experience now. The experience of the connection. Where will you have it? That's the real reward. When we speak about reward, the way Chassidus explains reward isn't a, if you are, you tell your 10-year-old boy, you're going to learn Mishnah and you're going to learn by heart Mishnah. So you're going to get, $1 for every Mishnah that you learn, right? That you know by heart. $1 has nothing to do with the Mishnah, right? It's arbitrary. Reward means the reward of the experience of connection to Hashem. We don't get that now. Tzaddikim don't get that completely now. They'll get it in their neshama in Gan Eden, and more so there they'll get a ray of it, and more so they'll get it in the times of Mashiach, right? So that's when we meet. That's what it means reward. The way Chassidus explains it.
אלו דברים שאדם אוכל פירותיהם בעולם הזה,
Right.
הקרן קיימת לעולם הבא.
Exactly. What we say every morning in the Mishnah, in the morning blessings, right? The last part of the morning blessings. Exactly. So in other words, so that tzaddikim, so they're not getting the full experience now. Yeah, they're getting much more than we get, but they're not getting the full experience of right? The true reward for them, the true rewarding experience of attachment to God. Is that clear? Yeah? Okay. Got it? Okay, next. Vein oval. Oh, so that's what it means that God is faithful to the righteous, that they will get that. Vein oval, without iniquity. Af l'reshayim, to the wicked too. Mishal mischar tzidkasom, he pays a reward for their righteousness be'olam hazeh, in this world. So what does it mean without iniquity? Right, it seems to be righteous. Shalom Chaim, lomdim akshav, okay? Chaim, al tafriya, lomdim akshav. Im אתה רוצה ללמוד, תשב בבקשה. Okay. Shalom motek. So, what does it mean without iniquity? Well, what does it mean without? It doesn't make sense without iniquity. You're giving to the righteous, you're faithful to give reward to the righteous without iniquity, obviously without iniquity. So speaking about the wicked, he's giving to the wicked, they're also getting their reward, but they're not getting it in the future. They're going to get it now.
Yeah.
Because in other words, wicked people doesn't mean they don't do any good, right? Doesn't mean wicked people doesn't mean, right? Wicked in Tanya, we're, includes, yeah, anyways. All right. Tzaddik v'yasharhu. So what does it mean that he's righteous? God is righteous and it is proper. Hakol matzlikim aleim es dinai. All accept upon themselves the righteousness of his judgment. Kach roi v'yashar lehem, that this is benefiting and proper for them. Tzaddik mipi abriyos. The righteous, it comes from the mouths of the people. V'yasharhu, and it is proper, that is, that is benefiting to acknowledge his righteousness. Not sure I got that exactly. If God is righteous, obviously he is straight, right? What do you mean it's proper? The Yashahu. Yeah, if you're righteous, are you not straight? You're a straight person if you obviously. So it's superfluous to say that God is straight. So Rashi explains, no. The people will say that God is straight. That God is righteous, God is righteous. Okay? But even the people will recognize that what the reward is appropriate. Interesting. Okay. Verse number 5. Shiches, corruption, loy. Two words that sound the same, but they mean loy. To him, loy is not. In other words, God is not corrupt. Okay? Banav mumam, his children, mumam, it's their blemish. Dor ikesh, it's a generation, ikesh, that is crooked, upasmal and is twisted. Let's see Rashi. Shiches loy, the corruption to him has to be understood. Ketarguma, as the uncle is translated. Corruption is theirs, v'loy law, and not his, not God's. Banav mumam, the blemish is the children's. That literally means his children, their blemish. Banav hayu, they were his children. The ashchasa, the corruption that they corrupted, he mumam is their blemish, right? Banav mumam, he brings down again the same words, right? Rashi says, mumam shel banav hu, it is the blemish of his children, v'loy mumay, and not his blemish. Okay, a different explanation. It's a little, and why it's in a different Divrei Maskil. A lot of questions over here. Dor ikesh, it's a generation that is crooked. Akum ukal, bent and crooked. Kamoi ve'ez kol yisharim ya'akeshu, like who bend all that is straight. That's a verse in Micha. Obeloshem Mishnah, in the language of the Mishnah of the sages, chulda, a weasel, sheneha akumes v'akushes, whose teeth are bent and crooked. Okay. Fasal tol, tol, twisted in Old French, entortilis. Kiposil, how's that? Guys, how's your old French? Girls, how's your old French? Huh?
It's unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable, huh?
Even when you say it, it's unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, it's French words. Tortue. Il est tortue. Il est. Yeah.
Kepasil hazeh, like this thread, shegoidlin, I say that when it twines, twists, umakifim, I say, and one twists the threads, hagidol, around the strand. Kepasal tol, kol tevis hakfulais. The word pastol is doubled rooted letters, like sagal, gal, and sakar, dam, yarak, right? Like a deep green, deep red. We just had this in Rambam yesterday. Yesterday's Rambam, these two words. So utterly anguished in Salzgal and rounded. Okay. Just giving example. In other words, it would be enough the word tal, it's doubled. So sometimes we have a word that is like that. That the root word is there twice. Hala Hashem, is it not to Hashem, to God, tigmulu zois, that you tigmala, you repay zois this naval, a people that are vile, v'loy chacham, and unwise. Like, is this the payment? Halayhu avicha, is he not your father? Kanecha, your owner, your acquirer. Hu ascha, he's the one who made you. V'chaynanecha, and established you. Rashi, ooh la la la. All right. Haloi tikmaloi zois, is it not that Hashem that repay you this? Like Lashon Tema, this is an expression of astonishment, rhetorical question. In other words, is it before God that you can anguish? Sheesh biyadei, who has the power to take his due from you, and to benefit you, in all manner of goodness. A people who are vile, that they forgot what had been done for them, and they're unwise. Avin is on lodis, that they fail to understand the consequences of their conduct. That he has the power to benefit and to harm. Is he not your father, your acquirer? That he acquired you, and he nested you, Bikan Hasloim, in the nest of boulders, Be'eretz Chazak, in a strong land, or alternatively, that he enhanced you, Bechol Mini Takanas, and all sorts of enhancements. Who Ascha, he made you, Umal Be'umais, he made you a nation among nations. And he established you, and afterwards, Bechol Mini Basis V'chein, and all sorts of base and foundation. Miket Kohanim, from you have the Kohanim, the priests. Mikem Nevim, you have prophets. Mikem Melochim, you have kings. Krach boy. Krach Shakol boy. A city that has everything in it. Like meaning he's giving you everything. Yeah, he's giving you everything, in this world. Excuse me. In other words, first he gave you a national identity, he made you, and then he established you, and he gave you everything that you need in your national identity, in your uniqueness as a nation. He's given you everything, right? He's given you the leaders, he's given you, I guess, leaders who could, who lead you properly. Yeah. Wow. Wow. A lot there.
I didn't really understand the part before when you were saying
What?
God is straight, but those who are evil are crooked. Is he trying to say to avoid Hulul Hashem? They say don't think it's. What is the point of saying he's straight and you're crooked? Is it to say don't think that evil is coming on from his part?
No, not that evil's. First, we established so it's a good question, because it seems, what is it adding? Because before we said, God gives retribution, punishment, and reward, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's coming out over here. And to say that the corruption is their own doing, right? That they're responsible for their own, the children of Israel are responsible for their own flaw, that they're crooked and perverse, right? So didn't we say that? I mean, what's it adding here? I'm not certain. I guess it's adding over here is that they're corrupting themselves, they're harming themselves, right? That's the idea over here. Yeah, I mean, don't put it on God.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's not.
Don't make yourself a victim.
Yeah.
Like many people, say, "Oh, we're the chosen people." God, choose somebody else for a while and let them get, yeah, you're playing a victim. No, just know that whatever is come upon you is something that is God of justice, and don't perverse things and corrupt things and play the victim. Look at my, actually, there's not another people, I mean, excuse, but there's minorities here in America, right, that still are talking about being slaves from 150 years ago. 150 years ago, you're talking about being that you were a slave. That's not a victim mentality, right? That's not a victim mentality, right? So this is what it's coming to say. It's your corruption. You're not taking responsibility for your life. You're not moving ahead. You're not doing what God wants. Don't blame anybody else. Don't blame God for that. Right? Don't be a victim. That's what it's saying. It's your corruption. Right? So it's human nature that everybody plays victimhood, right? God's saying don't be a victim. That's really what's coming down over here. Yeah. That's not harsh. Why is that harsh? To be what a blessing this is. And not to be a victim.
People are relatively victims.
No, that's if they choose to see it that way. Why do you have to be? Why? How come Jewish people? We've been kicked out of over 100 countries in the last 1,000 years. Yes, we get kicked out of one country. We don't play the victim card and say, "Oh, we're victims. Come and be kind to us." No, we go. We make our families and we make our communities and we build up life, right? Why? Because the verse says over here, "Don't blame God." Right? Take responsibility. It's your thing. Right?
Yes.
That's but no, other people don't do that. Right? I mean, I wouldn't say maybe some people, I wouldn't say no people do it. Some people do it as a nation, right? As a nation, right? As a people or as a race, as a group of identified people,